Trump's war with Iran is getting even messier, if that's possible. Here's a quick breakdown of some of the developments. First of all, there was this call that was intercepted of Iranian officials downplaying the damage of the US attack. Now, that is a private bit of communication. So in theory, that's where they would be the most honest about what actually happened. And when they're speaking privately to each other, they're saying, yeah, it really wasn't that bad. Now, you could say that this is a work, that they were hoping it would be intercepted. And I'm sure that's what the right will use to defend themselves from coming to a difficult realization, but it could be that it's honest, okay? Now, we know from the Washington Post reporting on this that they revealed that officials privately acknowledged only limited damage from the airstrikes. That's contradicting public claims of major losses. US intelligence believes Iran is inflating the impact to project strength and rally support while quietly working to contain internal fallout. The findings highlight the gap between Iran's public messaging and internal assessments, adding to the broader information war surrounding the conflict. Now, over the last few days, Republicans have been saying, why would they come out and say it was really damaging if it wasn't? And I feel like that is the easiest question to answer that has ever been posed. They don't want you to know that you need to bomb it more. That's obvious. You stopped bombing them because you thought you'd succeeded. So they're telling you that you succeeded because they don't like being bombed. That's the whole dissertation. There's no more, there's no footnotes, there's no addendum. That's the whole thing. And it's weird that you don't understand that, Donald Trump. But anyway, Trump's liar in chief is not buying it. Karoline Leavitt says it's shameful that the Washington Post is helping people commit felonies by publishing out of context leaks. The notion that unnamed Iranian officials know what happened under hundreds of feet of rubble is nonsense. Their nuclear weapons program is over. And as always, her lie is founded on something that seems pretty reasonable. I mean, how would an unnamed Iranian official know what is going on under hundreds of feet of rubble? That's ridiculous. We know what's going on under hundreds of feet of rubble and thousands of miles. I don't understand it, JR, but she really wants you to believe that they know better than the Iranian officials what's actually going on.
Yeah, it's bullying tactics. It's the same way they're trying to go after folks who actually want the reality behind this. So we saw the attacks and they hit their marks, and we see all these differing conclusions about the effectiveness. So just because someone wants the reality behind the effectiveness, because you continue to spend our money on bombing another country because you follow Netanyahu into this conflict, and now you don't want to look like the guy who's starting more wars, even though you said your entire campaign that you wouldn't do that. It's just the whole twisted nature of what they're trying to get done. So in order to do that, the bottom line and the vehicle in which they're trying to push this is that you're anti-American. It's this anger bullying tactics, and they definitely send out Karoline Leavitt every time they need that to be done. How dare you question the intelligence that told us we don't know yet exactly the level of effectiveness? And as we dig into this more and see actual basis behind people that were actually affected by it, downplay the level of it. How could you? There's a reason people want to know the truth. Well, first off, was it necessary? Because that's the one thing that they got us stopped talking about is their shaky intelligence in the first place. Then we have to stack onto that after that shaky intelligence that you followed Netanyahu into this conflict over, that you decided to then bomb these sites, and they weren't even that effective, at least to the effectiveness that you said so. So you may have to do it more, because obviously you just sold this whole story that Iran was 2 days away from a nuclear weapon. Now you have nowhere to go except more bombing or acting like it's all over.
And I think again that has to be where it goes. I mean, look, Trump, he wants to pretend that they succeeded, but he's getting the same intelligence. And again, they could have. It just doesn't appear that they did. You think Israel's gonna be like, yeah, we should probably just leave it alone because we don't want to hurt Donald Trump's image or whatever. No, they will stop at nothing to destroy those facilities. So they are going to be demanding follow-on strikes. And so my prediction, I'm not gonna remember where I said this to go find it when it happens, but it's that they will continue saying that they succeeded in destroying the facility even as the B-2s are in the air to do follow-on strikes. And when they hit it again, then they're gonna have to come up with some sort of explanation as why they had to do it or whatever. But I think that is going to happen because Trump, remember, Trump cannot solve this diplomatically. He just doesn't have it. He only has bombing. And so I feel like that's inevitably going to come. Now, Pete Hegseth is still whining that you are all being mean to the military by acknowledging that the facility might not be destroyed. Again, nobody's insulting the pilots. Nobody's insulting the planes. Nobody's insulting the bombs. We're insulting you and Donald Trump and Netanyahu and all of the idiots who tried and apparently failed to accomplish this. The pilots did everything they were supposed to do. The bombs aren't sentient creatures, and the planes are really impressive. You're the problem though, Pete Hegseth, so stop trying to hide behind the actual soldiers just because Donald Trump told you to do something that didn't have a guarantee of success. So anyway, setting that aside, whatever, they're gonna continue to try to browbeat the media into being an amalgam of North Korean and Russian state media. I hope that that's not how it ends up. Unfortunately, that is the direction a lot of the media is going in. But anyway, you also have this from Donald Trump. It's him complaining that the Grand Ayatollah of Iran has declared victory over Iran and Israel. That's too long, I ain't reading that, but so it's just a lot of complaining, saying that it was obliterated, and also I saved your life because they were gonna kill you and a lot of other people, and how dare you be mean to me after I saved your life, and all of this stuff, and blah, 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 Iran was gonna be destroyed, whatever. The issue is that he can complain if he wants to, and we expect that he will. He's a tiny little baby boy. But he is now apparently, he says, as a result of what the leader has said, he was gonna be giving relief from some of the sanctions. Now he's saying he's not gonna do that. And he's claiming it's because of what the supreme leader said. Other people have other theories though. So recently, Chris Coons, Democratic senator, came out and said, in the end, the deal with Iran looks pretty similar to the Obama deal in that you're offering relief from sanctions to guaranteed continued inspections and no development of nukes. That's not only what the Obama deal was, that's the thing you complained about in the Obama deal. And Trump is chafing under that. He said, tell phony Democratic Senator Chris Coons that I am not offering Iran anything, unlike Obama, who paid them billions under the stupid road to a nuclear weapon, blah, 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 blah. Nor am I even talking to them, since we totally obliterated the nuclear facilities. First of all, you're talking to them through Truth Social, which granted, they're probably not gonna see because who in their right mind would be on Truth Social, but you're still trying to communicate with them. And relief from sanctions is literally what the Obama thing was. Fox convinced so many of these old right wingers with brain rot that he was cutting a check. That's not what it was. It was unfreezing assets. And that is what you were actually offering. Anyway, so the whole thing's a big mess, JR.
Yeah. Really fast, I just had one thought because I just want us to pay attention to what this guy said. This grown ass man, president of the United States, is complaining that another foreign leader in a conflict that you were involved with claimed victory. That's his basis for now his next international foreign policy blunder. He said he won. I can't believe he'd say that. I won this football game. We're following behind a guy who's caught up with his ego because he wants to continue to claim victories where who knows where the victories landed. That's his basis, that's his motivation. We're following into it. Just pay attention to how stupid it is that we're following this guy.
100%. Also, he apparently okayed the strikes on our bases, which was a face-saving measure for Iran from Trump's perspective. So that face-saving measure is okay, but now you're gonna risk war because he saved face in a speech? Makes no sense. Don't put tiny little emotionally stunted baby boys in power.